also, when it comes to polygyny, some brothers like to say, I don't have to ask my wife nothing. I don't have to get her permission. You are absolutely right.
We don't. We need no permission.
You are absolutely right.
That's right.
But in your best interest, you should consult him. You should at least talk about it. If not specifically, just saying what your intentions are. Even before y'all get married, you should be discussing this. But you should get her input. Now, some people may be comfortable with that. Depending on every situation is different. So this is not for everybody. Sometimes you may want your wife to pick your wife out because she know what you like or what have you.
I'm glad you said that.
Sometimes that's not a good idea. Sometimes it's not. It's not a good idea. But if he has intentions or what have you, he should talk to you about that. And sometimes, like, you know how we say how people meet in the street. When I say meet in the street, a man and woman, they meet, they get all into each other, and they then bring it to the Imam or the Wali, oh, we want to get married. And so when the person that they're bringing it to recognize, like, listen, I don't think it's a good idea. They already passed that threshold. They already got their feelings into it. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing you could say to deter them, right? Same thing with the polygyny brothers. Mm-hmm. Your heart all into it. Your wife like, listen, that sister, XYZ. And I'm not saying something like, just saying something bad. Just say, I just recognize something. And the brother's like, oh, she just mad because she don't want to be, want to be in polygyny. It don't be that the case. It don't be the case always. It might be the case. I'm not going to lie. But sometimes she is giving you good advice. But where it's coming from, you question it and like, why is she telling me that? Is she looking out for my best interest, or she just trying to, deter me from doing that? Usually it's for your best interest, and then it'll be too late, and you find out yourself, and then you're not going to say it out loud. You be like, you know what, she was right. But I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to say, but she already recognized, so you ain't got to say nothing. I already told you.
And I've seen the other extreme where brothers have a wife, and they always have this conversation with their wife about polygyny. Mm-hmm. Like all the time. He don't have nobody in mind. Just bring the conversation. Wife get all upset.
Just keep talking about it, yeah.
I'm like, come on.
You know what it's doing to her. Why are you doing that? Yeah, like I said, every situation is different. If you know how your wife is, you know how to approach her or not. And you got to be more sophisticated. You know how they are. You should be learning them, and you should know how they are. Yeah. And if you know something is uncomfortable with them, sometimes it's best to leave it alone. Yeah. But
and we talking a lot about polygyny, but remember this statement that the situation that inspired the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to say this. Remember, it wasn't because of polygyny. Khadijah had already died.
Mm-hmm. This was someone that's not in this world, that wasn't present physically, that he wasn't even seeing physically, in this realm. But yet, she still, his wife Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, still was feeling the ways. Because she recognized where his heart lies. And she thought, she could compete with that. And you cannot. You cannot compete what's in that man's heart. You cannot. And you just need to recognize where you are. And be grateful for that station and build that. That's all you need to do. A lot of people get in trouble trying to step on the other person's toes, try to, take their shine. You taking somebody else's shine does not make you brighter, light up.
Nope.
Listen, it either makes you a stain. That's what it makes you look like. And it's look like you trying to, do something that's not, productive, and that's not conducive to the marriage as a whole.
Khadijah said, if the convo causes fitna, why go behind her back? Why so desperate? Man, you backing the brother in the corner.
Yeah.
The convo causes fitna, so we're not going to talk about it. You're not going to go behind her back. So,
why go behind her back? Why so desperate?
Why got to be desperate, Khadijah?
Listen. Hello, Khadijah.
Malik said that he knew an Imam that once had another wife and never told his first wife. That was mind-boggling.
You can't do that. That's not even... Why? Why do that? See, people be creating situations, then they expect the people to understand.
And the situation that you're trying to avoid be worse than...
Yeah. And you need to just deal with this because it's my right. No, I have a right to not be hurt. I have a right to for you to treat me, with respect and honor. If you love me, you're not going to do that.
And that other wife got the right to not to be thinking that, not to be treated like a single woman.
Right.
She's a side piece, a halal side piece. Oh, poor single sisters. You don't even know. Nobody even knows she married to the Imam. Can't say nothing about it.
SubhanAllah. Well, answer this question, Imam Naeem. Is that haram? LOL.
You know these brothers. They know how to walk that halal haram tightrope. It won't be haram because they fulfill the legal requirements. There'll be enough witnesses there, dowry paid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's still secret. But technically, legally speaking, it's not a secret marriage because there was enough witnesses there. But the community don't know. So they be walking that little tightrope.
And then if you're in a marriage, regardless or not, whether it's polygyny or not, people should know who's married to who's divorced from who.
Yeah.
So we'll know who's available, who's not available.
Yeah.
That should be known.
Yeah.
So when you see a sister, you ain't like, oh, let me see. It should already be known. Oh, she's taking. Oh, that's such and such wife, or that's such and such. It just lessens the these situations that people run into.
And I know it's hard in places like this, meaning like places like America. See the rough hands.
Never mind.
Why risk a whole marriage unless you're desperate? Why risk a whole marriage unless you're desperate? You want to answer that?
I can't answer that. They do it.
Because in my mind, the marriage is already in risk. Because this is something that's natural. Polygyny is natural. This is a point that a lot of people forget. Mm-hmm. Allah restricted it. It was unlimited number of women that men could marry. Up until the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when he restricted it to 4. And so this is why many of the Sahaba, some who had 10 wives, had to divorce 6 of them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is well documented. So polygyny is natural. So if I have a wife that has a problem with that, then I think that's already a problem before even any other woman is introduced into the equation.
That's why it need to be discussed beforehand to see if you want to be in that situation. Regardless whether it's going to happen or not, at least give that person that space to say, hey, I don't think I can deal with that. Or, if you work with me and be patient, yes. You know what I'm saying? But you have to discuss that. Yes, we understand that's part of it, but some people don't understand. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then even because sometimes brothers say, I'm not thinking about no polygyny. I just want to have one wife. And he may be sincere when he said it.
Right.
But hearts are hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Qalb for heart, comes from qalb, a thing that's always changing, always moving. Mm-hmm. He may felt strongly that way at that time. But then y'all get married some years down the line, his heart changes.
Yeah.
He's going to be the bad guy. Now, if he tries to say, you know what? I know when we first got married, I said I wasn't thinking about it. And I was, that's how I felt at the time.
That's why y'all need to watch what y'all say.
Yeah.
Watch what you say. Y'all got to watch what y'all say.
No matter, in that situation, no matter how he expresses it, whatever, he's the bad guy. He's wrong. You tricked me. You deceived me. Right? And he's being honest. I was telling the truth when we got married. But now I feel something different. And so that's why I felt it necessary to say that this state is natural.
Yeah, it is natural.
It is natural. People want to forget that.
Okay.
People want to make it seem like, that a dude is thirsty because he wants to get more than one wife. Well, sometimes he
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just being a devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But.
And we have to, because people like to categorize.
Yeah.
Like all men who do that thirsty?
No, they not. No, they not.
Was the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam thirsty?
Nope.
Was Prophet Ibrahim
Nope.
thirsty? Was Prophet Sulaiman thirsty?
Nope.
Was all the Sahaba thirsty? No.
No, not at all. And brothers got to be extra patient with his wives when he's going into it, because she's got to be allowed to have her feelings as long as she doesn't do anything sinful. Yeah. Exactly. Don't punish her. She's she has the right to have the feelings that she has. Yeah. She does. And don't be crass. Yeah. You know, you got to be gentle. Like what the Prophet ﷺ said about the woman. She's like a rib. Don't try to straighten it out. That ain't for you to do. That we are made a certain way. Yeah. You got to figure out how to not to break it. Because some brothers, I'm going to say some, pretext some, don't know how to handle us. They don't. And we have to learn how to handle each other.
I'm one of those brothers. I don't know how to handle y'all. Y'all crazy.
Okay.
And we've been on here for a minute.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm done.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Any more comments before we get out of here?
Alhamdulillah. We apologize for holding y'all so long, but we're just so excited to be back. Inshallah, we'll have other topics in the forthcoming, days or weeks or what have you that we come back. And inshallah won't be another, I don't even know when last time we were on. It's been so long. Yeah. Inshallah, we won't allow that to happen, inshallah. Make dua for us.
Yeah, it's been her fault though. I've been wanting
see how he over there slattering.
She's busy.
Yeah. Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. So how you want to end up?
There's more comments. The importance of community, exactly. That's the importance of community. How this turned into a whole polygyny conversation. Exactly. We've digressed.
We've obsessed. Yep. I can't believe I thought that's what this was about.
I came a little late. So that's what the topic was about. My husband and I knew nothing about polygyny when we got married, but how we've learned. Does he need more than one if you have 3 other people in your head?
Ooh.
That flew over my head. What did I miss? Does he need more than one if you have 3 other people in your head?
Like you're like 3 people. Like you're 4 in 1.
Oh, okay.
She trying to be funny.
Oh, okay. It's important that most of the Sahaba kept at least 2 wives. Polygyny. Whoop, whoop, yeah. Love you guys. We love you too. Alhamdulillah. We glad you here and stuck with us. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Even though my wife like talking a lot. Alhamdulillah. And even though I'm not the most camera or what's the word we call it? What's the word? Photogenic person in the world.
Whatever.
Wa alaikum salam to that barakatuh. 2017.
It's not only one marriage, I think.
Okay.
Most of the person is still only one. Yeah. She said, let her talk. Mashallah. Right. But yeah. Well, it is it's not a polygyny, but it does relate in a way because, no, but you understand. Because that was, you know what? That's a tricky thing because it's not polygyny. Well, is it? No, it's not polygyny technically because Khadijah returned to Allah and then you have a wife living.
Right.
That's still his wife, right?
Yeah.
So it's polygyny, right? Let me stop. No, you understand. I don't know how
that's one of the type of questions Hassan Ali would ask.
Oh, he said that's the last time. Oh, my, 2017?
No, we got on in 2019. We got to check the archive.
This is 2019.
Yeah.
I don't know. We ain't been on this year. You've been on.
We ain't been on 2019.
We ain't been on
2018.
This year. Maybe 18.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Ooh, see how... Listen, y'all, time is flying. Here we are approaching 2020. I know we have our Islamic calendar, but let's just be real. 2020 will be here. Another year, the Gregorian calendar, whatever,
Next Saturday.
But it speaks to jealousy that we can have when it comes up. Right, exactly. And,
the next show is tentative. Somebody asked a question. When's the next show? Don't leave us hanging for a year. Tentatively next Saturday.
Next Saturday, inshallah, we're going to try to do that.
Same
and if y'all have topics, please bring it on so we can discuss it
and prepare for it.
Yes, try to get them in. Even in this thread, put in the comments. We'll be reading it and what have you. But yes, if you have some topics you want to discuss, we come to y'all not because we're scholars, and we come to you because it's necessary.
She's a sheikh.
No, I'm not. Don't even put that on me. we need to have these discussions. You understand? Because sometimes it seems like certain things are not being spoke about, and sometimes you feel like you're all alone thinking about certain, you're the only one thinking on certain things, and sometimes that's not even the case. But if we can come together as a community here, because this is we are coming in a communal manner, and so we can inform and then, be able to relate to others that weren't present, what we discuss or what have you. Maybe something comes up, because you're always learning. There's always something going on out there. You know what I'm saying? So what I would like before we go, I want all the people, whether you're married or not, if you're intended or not, put in the comments the year that you were married, how long you've been married, the year you've been married. If you're intended to someone, if you're going to be getting married soon, put that in there. Let's not hide these things, and it's not to be nosy either. Just, it's a celebration. It's not,
we always hear horror stories.
Yeah, this is a celebration.
1 week marriages and all that kind of stuff. Let us hear some, success stories.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of people watching.
Right.
And I know this is Khalil's thing, and alhamdulillah for that.
Right.
But, a lot of people watching and listening, and they were like, oh my God, this is what marriage is like?
Exactly.
I don't
want to get married.
Let them see and hear about some success stories as well.
Well, let me tell you a quick success story in case you haven't heard it, and I have mentioned it before. The Imam and I got married back in 97. I actually was the one to approach him and his wife at the time. Okay, so I asked to be...
She was sweating the brother, Khalil. She was like, listen, I need to marry that brother.
Yes, because the first
time... She said yes. You heard her, right? I said she was sweating me, and she said yes. That's proof. Okay. Khalil, you need to make it clear. Got her. She said it. Allahu Akbar.
So, I heard him because he used to give kubars at Masjid Taqwa in Brooklyn, alhamdulillah. And I'm like, who is that brother? This is when I was a baby shahada. And I'm like, who is this brother? And so, not knowing, I met his wife at the time and was like, and she's telling me about her husband. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to learn this deen and what have you. So that's how I got in there. Now that was 97. Now in 2001, our marriage dissolved. I won't get into that. But anyway, it wasn't my fault. It was his fault. But anyway, 2001, it dissolved. Yeah, you see his face right there? You see that, y'all? Look at that face. Big mistake. And so we reunited back in 2007. Okay? We split. He didn't know where I was. He was doing his thing, whatever. But yet he was trying to find me. I disappeared on him. But anyway, 2007, when we picked up again, alhamdulillah, it was as if we never separated. It was just like we just picked up where we left off. And it's like we got seasoned, and it was like better the second time around. Like it's like, wow, just like when you cook, you season your meat, you leave it over a night with the seasoning on there, then you cook it, and it tastes better than just cooking it, throwing the seasoning on there and eating. The flavor had not sunk into it, right? But that's how we were. And so like now, it's like we're more appreciative of each other. And so since 2007 till now, we've been married that whole stretch. So I've known him for over 20 years. It feels like we've been married that whole time. And this is this is my best friend. Nobody can replace that. No brother can replace that.
Bet not.
No sister can replace me. We have etched our marriage. Our marriage is unique in itself. So anybody that try to come in or try to do anything, and I'm putting this out here, you're doing yourself a dissatisfaction, because we have already built what we have. And it's going to take you another 20 years to get where we are, if it even get that far. So don't even do that. Don't do that to a sister and a husband that's done built their lives, together. Don't do that injustice to yourself. You are your own person. Love you, love him, whatever the situation, whether it's polygyny or not. That's my my tidbit that I'm gonna leave y'all with. This is my best friend. Listen, this is my homeboy, my ride and die. I don't care if I got 2 toes, 1 arm, 1 ear. He's gonna love me just like that. Genuinely, not because he feels sorry for me.
Look the other ear.
He said, "Look the other ear." That's because I built something with him, and it goes beyond the surface. Mm-hmm. When you love someone eternally, there's nothing that can touch that. I just want to leave that with y'all, okay? Alhamdulillah. What you got to say? Because you ain't been saying nothing. You said you made a mistake. Go ahead, put it on record.
I already said it.
Nah.
I mean, we
ain't got time. We don't have time. But alhamdulillah.
But I always say the same thing, that she's my best friend as well. And a lot of times, that's not, in the eyes of a lot of men, that's not masculine. You know, we suppose, you know, what they say, homies over hoes, right? Yeah. All that stuff, you know, and again, you know, this is just the way I feel. But if you want some support from the Deen about the text about me feeling the way I'm supposed to feel, me feeling this way, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also felt the same way. I just quoted the hadith. Amr ibn al-As radiallahu ta'ala anhu asked him, "Who is the most beloved person to you?" And he said, "Aisha." Then he said, "No, from among the men." And then he said, "Abu Bakr," then Umar, what have you. And it's the same way with me. And I know everybody, you know, you just got to be natural. You can't force it.
And no, I'm not, you know, blackmailing him. I'm not holding nothing over his head and like, you bet. No.
I actually had somebody tell me that.
It's funny, but that's their shortcomings, not mine.
This woman raised me. She's been here to stay.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Don't make me cry, Khadijah. That's my baby. Alhamdulillah. But mashallah. But yes. So inshallah, we'll be back. Inshallah, you know, we're not perfect. If we made any mistakes, let us know, because I'm not perfect. He's not. We're going to make mistakes, but we need to have these conversations. Yeah. And I enjoy having these conversations with you all. You understand? Because we are a family. We're a ummah. We're a family, regardless, you know, of the fact, whether you like it or not. Yeah. Mashallah. But yeah. So we're gonna close it out. Oh, I was going to mention something, but that's okay.
All right, you can close out. Well, so you like doing talking, now you don't want to...
Alhamdulillah. But yes, keep it coming. Yeah, unions, even if y'all split up and got back together, alhamdulillah. And I feel like I have to mention that because that is so important. It's a pivotal part of our relationship. How it just, you know, ended and then it continued. Not everybody has that story.
Let me say this. I always mention this part way. And a lot of times I talk about gratitude. Shukr. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, La in shakartum la azidanakum. If you are grateful, I will increase you, or Allah will increase you. And what Allah is saying is, if you are grateful for a particular or specific blessing, Allah will give you more of that particular or specific blessing. Right? So I feel like during our first marriage, I wasn't grateful. So Allah took the blessing away from me. And when and during that time period, I recognized what I messed up.
Alhamdulillah.
And so
he's still making up for it.
and so I recognize, and a lot of people don't have this opportunity, but Allah gave me a second chance. And she know when we got back in contact with each other, after all the formalities, I'm like, oh, so is you married?
Right? Yep. He ain't waste no time. You
right?
hear me?
So the first time she was asking me for a marriage, second time I asking her for marriage.
Mashallah.
Right? And so, as she said, when we got remarried, I felt like Allah increased it, you know, because of gratitude. Now I'm grateful, right? Not only did I feel like He increased you, made you better for me since the first time, but even since this whole second time we've been together, I'm watching you get better before my very eyes. It's like I'm seeing the ayat of Allah from the Quran in my life. I'm like, subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. This is amazing. So, you know, alhamdulillah. You close out, inshallah.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming out and joining us. Alhamdulillah. We ask Allah to bless us and protect our families, protect our children, protect our mindset, protect this deen, protect our wealth, mashallah, and just to protect us all together, because we always are facing something every day that we wake up. And thank Allah for raising us up this morning. I know it sounds like church, but it's a blessing to wake up every morning, to start again, to make the dua, to make ask for Allah for forgiveness. Don't think you too much in the hole where you cannot ask Allah for forgiveness. I've seen something to the effect that you could have, left Allah, a million steps, but if you just take one step back to Allah, that's all it takes. So never think it's too late. So inshallah, between now and as you go with your week and what have you, until we meet again, I just ask you, Allah, to just think about each other. Remember everyone in your du'as, the sick, the homeless, everyone that's going through issues. Ask Allah to, have, shower His mercy on them. And please make dua for us. We really, really appreciate your du'as. And may Allah just help us. SubhanAllah. Protect us from the hellfire and grant us Jannah. Ameen, ameen, ameen. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wal asra innal insana lafi khusra illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair.